Welcome to Logic versus Emotions, where we explore the space between what we know and what we feel. I'm your host, Solace, and I want to thank you for joining me on this journey of healing, growth, and truth. Whether you are single, dating, married, committed, or in between stages, you are welcome here. This podcast is for those who want to better themselves, not just for a partner, but for the person in the mirror. Welcome back to Logic versus Emotions. This is episode 2, How Childhood Wounds Shape Adult Love. I am your host, Solace, and I am so honored that you are here. Last episode, we talked about the inner conflict so many of us face. Logic pulling us one way, emotion pulling us another. Today, we go deeper. We go back to where it all began. It didn't start with you. When we talk about relationships, we often focus on what's happening right now. The arguments, the silence, the miscommunication, the longing. But so much of what we experience in love today didn't start today. It started years ago, in our childhood homes, in the silence after a punishment, in the absence of comfort, in the mixed signals, the chaos, the overprotection, the neglect. Your emotional blueprint, how you love, fight, trust, detach, or cling, was written in childhood, not by you, but by those who raised you. And if we never stop to examine that blueprint, we keep building our adult relationships on unstable ground. Let's talk about some of the most common wounds that silently shape our emotional habits, like emotional neglect. You were clothed, fed, even praised, but never seen. No one asked you how you felt, only how you performed. Now, you may struggle to identify your emotions, or you minimize your needs to avoid being too much or inconsistent validation. One day you're praised, the next you're punished. Love was conditional. Now, you might become a people pleaser, constantly chasing approval, or overly independent, refusing to need anyone. Perhaps you grew up in chaos, yelling, violence, instability. Now you either repeat the chaos or avoid conflict altogether and silently suffer. Perhaps you were told, "You're too sensitive, stop crying. It's not that serious." Now, you either suppress your feelings or explode when they finally surface. These are just a few, but if any of these resonates, you're not alone. And you're not broken, you're wounded. And wounds can heal if we stop ignoring them. Here's something important. Your logic developed as a shield to help you function, plan, survive. Your emotions carry the memory, the truth you couldn't say back then, the grief you buried, and the anger you never expressed. When those two parts of you are in conflict, it's usually your inner child trying to say, "See me, hear me, don't ignore me again." Healing begins when we stop labeling those emotions as irrational or too much. Instead, we ask, where did this come from? You don't need to erase your past to heal it. You need to understand it, to return to it with compassion, to give yourself what you never received: permission to feel, space to rest, love without conditions, safety to speak. Because until you do, you'll keep choosing partners who mirror your pain, not your peace. And you'll call it love when it's really just familiarity. Let's apply this podcast's 3-stage process to this: discover, embrace, and submit. First, with discover. Discover your identity in Christ, who God created you to be, and then identify where you are at present, where your emotional patterns begin, and note the gap between the two. You see, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 reminds us that we were created in God's image. It is our best hope to reflect His character in our love, patience, forgiveness, kindness, and faithfulness. God thought so much of us, His creation, that He gave us dominion and authority over all in the earth. It is God's deepest desire to relate to and fellowship with the people He created. Understand this, beloved. God has a plan for you. Somewhere in your life, that plan was derailed. Here's your opportunity to identify where your emotional patterns began. Journal moments in childhood where you felt unseen, unheard, or unloved. Embrace it. Sit with the discomfort. Don't rush to fix it. Say, this was real. This did affect me. Then submit. Let go of the survival strategies that no longer serve you. You don't need to be distant, defensive, perfect, or invisible anymore. You can be loved as you are. But first, you have to believe it's possible. What unspoken rule or lesson did you learn in childhood that's still affecting how you love today? Perhaps you don't trust anyone, or you were told crying makes you weak, or maybe you think, I have to earn love. Write it, speak it, break it. That is your emotional blueprint. How you love, trust, shut down, or chase. And it was written by those who raised you. Don't believe me? It says so in the Bible. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. If no one trains you how to feel, express, and receive love safely, you carry that training or lack of it into adulthood. Unless we examine the blueprint, we'll keep building relationships on that same shaky ground. And the reason we name it is because until we name it, we can't heal. I'm going to give you 4 common childhood experiences, and then I'm going to give you 4 scriptures for each of those experiences that can help give you some peace as you work through embracing and submitting to the healing process. If your experience has been emotional neglect and you've learned to minimize yourself to be accepted, and now you struggle to voice your needs or identify your emotions, Psalms 34:18 reminds us that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed spirit. Or perhaps your experience was inconsistent validation. Now you either chase approval or reject it entirely. You fear needing anyone. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7 is for you. Love is patient and kind. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It always protects, always trust. Perhaps you were exposed to conflict. You lived in chaos, yelling, anger, shifting moods. Now you either reenact that chaos or you avoid all conflict and lose your voice in the process. Matthew chapter 5 verse 9 reminds us that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. And then the last common experience, being emotionally invalidated. Perhaps you were told, stop crying, you're too sensitive, get over it. And now you suppress everything, or you explode when it finally boils over. Well, Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1 is for you. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. If any of this resonates, again, you are not alone, you are not broken, you are wounded. Psalms 147 chapter 3 reminds us He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. You see, I hope this is making sense to you. Because of your childhood experiences where you weren't allowed to feel, as you entered into adulthood, you logically developed methods to help you function, to survive, to stay in control. But here's God's word on that, beloved. Psalms 46 verse 10, God reminds us, be still and know that I am God. Stillness gives space for that voice to rise. You don't have to erase your past, but you do need to understand it. To return, not with blame, but with compassion. to give yourself what you didn't receive: permission to feel, space to rest, unconditional love, and safety to speak. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28 reminds us, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Because if you don't, you'll keep attracting partners who reflect your pain, not your healing. And you'll confuse pain for love because it feels familiar. So again, here is the process. First, discover. Trace your emotional habits to their roots. When did you first feel invisible, unsafe, or unworthy? Second, sit with that truth. Say to yourself, that did hurt me, and I don't have to downplay it anymore. Submit. Release the coping habits that keep you emotionally guarded. Let God rebuild your foundation. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 reminds us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." You don't have to earn love. You already are loved by the one who made you. Now it's time to love yourself enough to receive it. Now, here are some powerful examples of how emotional blueprints are formed in childhood. Check out this clip from the movie Fences, released in 2016. This is the confrontation between Troy and Corey.
Can I ask you a question? How come you ain't never liked me?
Like you? What law is there say I got to like you?
None.
All right then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
As long as you in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you?
Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is?
Because you like me?
Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. It's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. I ain't got to like you. Now, I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life. Me and your mama worked that out between us, and liking your black ass wasn't part of the bargain. Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure that they're doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying?
Everything that boy do, he do for you.
It's not easy for me to admit that I've been standing in the same place for 18 years.
Well, I've been standing with you. I gave 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot as you.
Troy's inability to show emotional warmth stems from his own traumatic upbringing. Raised by an abusive father during Jim Crow era hardship, he repeats the same emotional distance with his son, believing provision is more important than affection. This moment shows how children absorb unspoken emotional rules. Love equals responsibility, not affection. How generational trauma can stifle emotional connection. The damage caused when children's emotional needs are unmet, even if their physical needs are met. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4 reminds us, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord." This verse underscores the importance of nurturing, not just providing, something Troy never learned and could not pass down. Here are some more powerful examples.
gotta go to school. I gotta go to school. I gotta go to school. What you doing? No, please, 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 no, no, no,
I'll get you. I'll get you.
Let us stay, please. Let us stay. I'll do anything for you. Let us stay.
Get the hell out of my house!
Let us stay. Let us stay.
You ain't never coming back here! Get out of here! Get off my land! Hey, get off my land! Get off my land! You ain't welcome no more!
Don't go. See, you and me as never part. My kid, me and you as never part. My kid, ain't no ocean, ain't no sea. I can't
Get off my land! Get off my land!
Nothing but death can keep me from it.
That was a clip from the movie The Color Purple, released in 1985. Celie, played by Whoopi Goldberg, suffers repeated abuse, first from her father, then from her husband, Mr. The moment she's forcefully separated from her sister Nettie, the only person who truly loved her, is heartbreaking. As Mr. drags Nettie away, Celie screams in desperation. You see, from Celie's childhood experience, Celie learned to believe love means loss. Her silence, passivity, and low self-worth are direct results of trauma and emotional neglect. She was never allowed to express her pain. She learned to survive by disappearing. Psalms 147, verse 3 reminds us, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And Psalms 27, verse 10, even if my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will hold me close. Check out this next subtle but powerful clip that shows how children raised in emotional chaos can carry that unresolved pain into adulthood, replaying the same emotional patterns they once survived.
Why do you do that?
What?
Make everything about you?
Trust me, it's not about me. I'm the last person it's about.
Then why are you constantly reminding everyone in this family what you do for them?
Because when I look down the list of everybody I take care of, I'm not even on it.
Lisa, you chose to work at the dry cleaners, okay? You chose to get married, you chose to have kids, just like you chose to raise Claude. Now you want the rest of us to feel guilty?
Somebody had to stay here and help Madeir when you left. You think I wanted to stay here and work at a dry cleaners? You took away my choice when you left.
I'm selfish. I'll own that. But you deserve better, Lisa.
What are you really trying to say? Because I've heard it all before. What? I'm bossy. My kids are spoiled. I shouldn't have married Malcolm.
He's cheating on you, Lisa.
I know.
You know.
I didn't have to go to college to know that, okay? Well, what do you want me to say? I got 2 kids, no degree. So it doesn't make me particularly hot on the dating circuit. Plus, I'm not trying to start all over.
Yeah, well, I think sharing your husband with another woman makes you pretty damn pathetic.
Pathetic. You know, you would say that. Since you don't have any responsibilities and you don't care about anybody but yourself.
Yes, pathetic. Because you know what? When it comes to this family, you'll go 10 rounds just to satisfy some deep damn insecurity because you didn't go to college. Just have to prove to everybody how smart you are. But when Malcolm says jump, your O for alter ego runs for the nearest exit. You let that fraction of a man run you because you're scared to start over? Women do it every day. So stop marking time. Don't buy a magazine rack. Deal with the issues in your marriage and stop taking the shit out on the rest of us. Sister.
Get out my face, Kelly. Come here. Kelly, get away from me. Let go.
Hey! Stop!
Let go.
Rolla, stop! Stop! What are you doing?
Get away from me, Mel. Forget you and the rest of this family.
Oh, my hair! What just happened?
We just had a discussion.
So dumb!
Subtle yet powerful, right? We're going to focus on Lisa's character. That's played by Regina King. She's the eldest daughter who took on the role of caretaker after her father left. She watched her mother struggle, held the family together, but repressed her own emotional needs. Her upbringing was likely filled with unstable emotional dynamics, siblings fighting, parental abandonment, unspoken expectations that she had to be strong and hold it down, and no space for vulnerability, rest, or self-prioritization. This is the classic parentified child syndrome, a child forced to function as an adult in a chaotic home. As a result, Lisa grows up, marries a man who cheats on her repeatedly, a subconscious tolerance for emotional instability, refuses to address the affair until the chaos boils over, mirroring how she once had to keep the peace as a child, then explodes in public at her husband and then physically fights him. Emotional suppression turning into emotional outburst. Is visibly unbalanced between logic and emotion, using logic to justify staying, for example, for the kids, then erupting in rage when her emotional limit is hit. When she says, "You think I don't know? I've known. I always know. I just keep it together because that's what I do." That line is a cry from the inner child, the one who was forced to maintain order when everything around her was broken. You see, Lisa became the glue in a broken home. But glue isn't meant to carry weight forever. As a child, she learned to silence her pain for the sake of everyone else. As an adult, that silence turned into a scream. This is what happens when children raised in chaos become adults who don't know how to ask for peace. They repeat what they've always known: survival and disorder. Now, one more powerful clip.
Selling shit, just keep on walking. Oh my God, is that you, Antoine? Come here, baby.
Don't touch me. Yeah, it's me. I'm all grown up. I'd like to speak to Miss Tate.
Well, you want to come in?
No. Would you like to get her?
Plunger.
Lord have mercy. Where's the child? Oh, nigga. Hug my neck. Nigga. Don't you know how to come home? Where you been?
I came for one thing. Whatever you can tell me about my real family.
I don't know nothing about your real people.
A name, number, anything.
I said I don't know. Now come along, come on.
I remember everything. Everything. You could have helped me, but instead you beat me to dust. And you?
Boy, I don't know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
you do. I was 6 years old.
Now you just listen.
No, you listen to me.
No, I think you done forgot.
I think you forgot. I said listen to me. This is my time. You understand me? It don't matter what you tried to do. You couldn't destroy me. I'm still standing. I'm still strong. And I always will be.
Okay, that was Antoine Fisher, released in 2002. Let me give you some context here. Antoine, who's played by Derek Luke, is a United States Navy sailor with severe anger issues stemming from physical, emotional, and sexual abuse he endured while in foster care. In therapy with Dr. Davenport, played by Denzel Washington, he slowly unpacks his past. Later, he confronts the foster mother who abused him. That's so powerful because it's an opportunity for him to reclaim his voice and his power. What I want you to catch, though, is the emotional blueprint. Antoine's emotional patterns of rage, isolation, and fear of love are direct products of early abandonment and abuse. He believed he was unlovable and unwanted, but therapy helped him rewrite his emotional narrative. Proverbs 27 verse 10 reminds us, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. In Genesis chapter 50 verse 20 reminds us, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. So why the movie clips? I chose movie clips as teaching tools because they do what logic alone can't. They bypass defenses and help us feel the truth. When it comes to unaddressed childhood wounds, this emotional resonance is essential. It's one thing to say childhood trauma shapes adult relationships, but it's another to watch Celie in The Color Purple silently endure abuse and think that's what love is. Stories help to make abstract concepts visible. Viewers can recognize their own behaviors, emotions, or trauma through a character's journey, often before they're ready to name it themselves. We can more easily face difficult truths when they're not directly about us, and then slowly begin to make the connection. For example, in the last clip in Antoine Fisher, we see a grown man with anger and relationship issues, but through flashbacks and therapy, we discover those behaviors came from abandonment, abuse, and neglect. The story doesn't just show the fruit of pain, it shows the roots. I pray these movie clips will help you understand your own emotional reactions aren't random or broken. They're learned responses to early pain. I don't want you leaving this podcast today believing you're toxic. Instead, I wanted to show you that wounded people love the way they were taught or not taught. I pray it builds empathy, not shame, and opens the door for healing instead of defensiveness. To remind you, you're not too far gone. Healing is possible. You can move from rejection to restoration. Take, for example, in the movie Antoine Fisher. Antoine is a young man in the Navy, quiet, angry, defensive. But he didn't become that way overnight. His emotional blueprint was formed in the shadows of abandonment. He was born in prison. His father was murdered before he was born. His mother never came for him. He grew up in foster care, physically, emotionally, and sexually abused. When he was asked by his therapist, "Who are you angry at?" he couldn't even answer. This is how childhood wounds work. They bury themselves so deep that by the time we're adults, we're reacting but not remembering why. Logic told Antoine, stay guarded, don't trust, and don't need anyone. Emotion whispered, I just want to be seen. I want someone to choose me. And isn't that the paradox we live in? We push people away while secretly hoping someone will stay. Many of us are still living with that same silent ache, the fear that if anyone gets too close, they'll see the wounded child behind the adult mask and walk away. But Antoine Fisher teaches us something sacred. You are not abandoned. You are not abused. You are not what they did or failed to do. Psalms 27 verse 10, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. There is a God who saw the child no one came for, who hears the cries you learn to silence, and he says, you are mine. When Antoine finally stands in front of the foster mother who hurt him, he says something powerful. I'm still standing. I'm still strong. That moment wasn't about revenge. It was about reclamation. He reclaimed his voice, his value, his worth, and that's what healing is. Not pretending it didn't happen, but choosing not to let it define your future. Let's reflect. Where in your past did you learn that you were unloved? And what response do you have for that feeling today? I want you to think back to a time in your childhood when you felt unseen, unwanted, or unimportant. Grab your journal. Write about that moment. What happened? Who was there? How did it make you feel? What message did that experience teach you about yourself or about love? That you're not enough? That you have to earn love? If you trust, you'll be hurt? People always leave? Or my feelings don't matter? Now ask yourself, have those beliefs followed you into adulthood? Have they shown up in your relationships with friends, romantic partners, families, or even God? And now, what is the product of that belief? What's the emotion you carry most from your childhood wound? Anger, fear, shame, loneliness, numbness, or confusion? Okay, so with this, you created a survival mask, if you will. What survival strategy did you adopt to protect yourself? Was it people pleasing? Did you emotionally shut down? Maybe it was hyper independence, aggression, or control, or avoiding intimacy, or pretending to be okay. Identify your survival mask. Now, what does it look like to begin healing, not hiding from the world? Before you answer that, let me remind you in Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7, you are altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you. Now answer that question. If you believed you were loved and chosen, you would fill in the blank. Now, to finalize this exercise, what is one truth you can speak over your inner child today? It can be a scripture, an affirmation, or a loving statement you never heard. Write that in your journal. Remember this, beloved. You are not what they did. You are not what they failed to say. You are loved. You are seen. You are still standing. That's it. Thank you for your time today. As I previously expressed to you, it is an honor for you to be here with me. In our next episode, we'll explore fear, control, and the armor we wear, and how self-protection is often just unhealed pain in disguise. If this episode spoke to your soul, please share it with someone who needs a gentle reminder that healing is possible and already promised. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 10 reminds us, and after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. This is Logic versus Emotions. Discover, embrace, submit.